All right, today we're tackling a massive question for anyone with a brand online. Should your website be a one-size-fits-all deal, or should it be custom tailored for every single market you're in? You know that feeling when you land on a website and it just feels off? Like it was made for absolutely everyone, which means it was made for no one in particular. But then, you've probably also found a site that just gets you, right? It feels like it was made just for you and your culture. Well, that's what we're going to dig into today, that gap between a generic site and one that truly connects. And really, that feeling comes down to a fundamental choice. It's a tug of war between two big ideas. Do you build one single universal site for maximum efficiency? Or do you create a bunch of unique sites that really connect on a cultural level? Okay, so let's properly define these two core philosophies. What are we really talking about here? First up, you've got global design. You might hear it called internationalization. The whole game here is efficiency and consistency. Think about it. Clean, minimalist layouts, icons that everyone on the planet understands, like a little magnifying glass for search, and everything is on a super neat grid. It's built to scale, it's cost-effective, and that's why a ton of big tech brands lean into this hard. Then, on the complete other side of things, you have local design, or localization. And listen, this is so much more than just translating the text. We're talking about a total cultural adaptation, changing up color palettes, using photos that actually look like the people in that country, and even adding payment methods that are popular there. The goal isn't just to look the same everywhere, but for the experience to feel just as good everywhere. And this really lays out the trade-offs, doesn't it? Global design is all about efficiency and a system you can scale up easily. But local design, man, that's all about connection. It's about building trust. It's basically sending a signal to your users that says, hey, we see you, we get your world. And that's huge for getting people to stick around and actually, buy something. So, the big question is, which one is better? Well, the answer isn't so simple. It all comes down to these invisible rules of culture that shape how every single one of us clicks, scrolls, and buys. And to really get our heads around this, we're going to pull out a powerful tool from social psychology. It's called Hofstede's Cultural Dimensions Theory. I know, it sounds a bit academic, but trust me, it's like a secret decoder ring for understanding what different cultures are looking for online. Okay, first dimension, the Power Distance Index, or PDI. All this really measures is how a society deals with inequality and hierarchy. So what does that have to do with web design? Everything. In a high PDI culture, say Malaysia or Mexico, people expect and trust authority. On the flip side, in a low PDI culture like Austria or Denmark, people are way more into flat structures. They don't want to be told what to do by an expert. They trust what their peers are saying. So let's make this super practical. A website for a high PDI culture, it's going to be loaded with official seals, certifications, and quotes from experts. But a site for a low PDI culture, forget that. It's going to be all about customer reviews, testimonials, and user-generated photos. See the difference? All right, next up, we have individualism versus collectivism. This is basically the me versus we dimension. Is the culture all about personal achievement and individual goals, or is it about the harmony of the group, the family, the community? And this one changes everything on your site. For an individualistic culture, your headlines are going to be full of words like you and your. The images will show a single person succeeding. But for a collectivist culture, the language is about us, and the images, they're going to show families, friends, and teams working together. And the last one we'll look at is the uncertainty avoidance index. This sounds complex, but it's just about how comfortable a culture is with uncertainty. It's why in some countries, like Germany or Japan, users need every single detail. They want clarity, precision, all the specs, all the security badges. But in other places, like Sweden or Singapore, people are totally cool with a more minimalist design. They're happy to explore and figure things out. So a design for a high UAI culture is all about eliminating any and all doubt. Think detailed FAQs, step-by-step guides, tons of trust seals. A low UAI design, though, can be way more playful and open-ended. It doesn't have to hold your hand the whole way. Okay, so if going fully global can feel kind of generic and going fully local is super expensive and complex, what's the answer? What do the giants of the world do? Well, they've figured out a pretty clever hybrid. It's a strategy called glocalization, and it's exactly what it sounds like, a mix of global and local. You keep a consistent global brand, but you tailor the little things, the content, the features, to what people in that specific place actually care about. It's absolutely the best of both worlds. Just look at McDonald's. It's the perfect example. The golden arches, that red and yellow color scheme, that stuff is the same everywhere. That's their global core. But hop on their website in India, and what do you see front and center? The McSpicy paneer, something made just for that market. Then check out their app in France, and you might get a notification for Le Croque McDo. See? Same brand, but a totally different local conversation. Now, Airbnb kind of flips that on its head. Their platform, the user interface you use to book a place, is standardized all over the world. It's familiar, it's easy to use, no matter where you are. But the actual content on the platform, the apartments, the neighborhood guides, the local experiences, that is, by its very nature, hyperlocal. Their entire business is built on putting that incredibly local flavor inside a smooth global system. Okay, so how can you actually use all this? Let's walk through a super simple framework to help you choose your own path. All right, here's the bottom line. You should probably stick with a mostly global approach if you're selling, say, a technical B2B product where the user needs are pretty much the same everywhere. You'd want to go heavily local if you're in a business that's tied directly to culture, like food or fashion. But for almost everyone else who's trying to scale up, that global strategy, that hybrid approach, it's pretty much the sweet spot. It gives you brand integrity and market relevance. When you boil it all down, this whole thing comes back to one simple but really powerful idea. You don't design for the map, you design for the audience. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Is your website just broadcasting a single message to the whole world? Or is it actually speaking your customer's language, having a real conversation with the people who matter most to your business? Think about it, because the answer could change everything.